Alright, so on top of Cynthia being easily the most difficult of the Pokemon League trainers here, it makes sense, she's the champion. Actually getting the segment out is proving to be just as obnoxious. I have to commence this just with a bit of a disclaimer. I'm not too sure what the background noise is going to be like at the moment, like for this segment, because I've got a 4-year-old that's being a little bit loud and obnoxious at the moment, and I have had to throw out 3 attempts at this segment. Not solely because of the little kid, mind you, but I did have one where I managed to, like, I had a few failed resets type things slip in under the radar, kind of like with the Flint video, how I had to redo that one as well. So it's a bit rough, but hopefully we can deal with it and get this segment done and out of the way. Anywho, Spiritomb lead in this team that is the same 6 as the ones she normally uses in the base version of Platinum. The only real difference here, of course, is the increase in the levels, among other things, you know, held items and that sort of fun stuff. So Spiritomb lead, of course. This one I just decided to go with a bit of Rain Dance. Hopefully that might have helped me out. Title does get burned, which does kind of suck a bit, but I get to 2-shot it anyway, so it's fine. Her replacement here, I believe, is the Roserade. No, Togekiss. Yeah, this Togekiss, it's pretty bulky. It's got Roost, it's got a Citrus Berry as well, so it tends to linger here for a little bit. And I figure now's about as good a time as any. $3 probably not going to be weak to anything that this thing throws. Could potentially have Aura Sphere, but it doesn't. It's got Thunder Wave and along with 2 stab moves, so for the most part I'm fine here. So I'm just gonna go and put up some screens and hopefully those will last me a bit. Spoilers, they really don't, just because Togekiss is pretty bulky. I'm not too sure about the speed gap here, but Gyro Ball I feel could probably still do a decent amount of damage, so that's my main form of attack here. And Moonblast I don't have to worry about because this thing isn't a special attacker, so any of those drops are completely inconsequential. All they really do is waste time, if anything. So there goes the Rain. Bloody lot of good that did me. I'm not too sure if I could have 2-shotted the Spiritomb without it, but nah. So I think the strat here is just spam the shit out of Gyro Ball and hopefully this thing dies sometime soon. This actually works out to my benefit as well. The Citrus Berry comes in and heals, and then I get a bit of a lucky damage roll here, and I believe this Gyro Ball finishes it off, which is a nice bonus. I was pretty tempted to send in something else, like maybe Rampart and just kill it, but nope, RNG was a little bit nice to me on this occasion, so there that goes. And so Lucario's up next, $3, not exactly looking too flash on here. I had a few options here. I could have gone with Mitt Roast to just hit the overheat button. Rampart could probably have tanked one of this thing's physical hits and then killed it with Earthquake. Don't think Spearmint could have done much. Could probably have easily just left 3-all in to get a free switch in or something. I went with Bertha instead. Bertha's got Mark Punch, so I could probably get over the line in that regard. So I opted to put up a Reflect here just because I figured that might be handy if I outspeed the Lucario. I do, and I eat an Ice Punch here, which good thing the Reflect is around, so I'm able to tank that. And so here it's just a matter of hopefully do some damage with Mark Punch, and denied. Extreme Speed has a greater priority level than Mark Punch, so it ends up getting in first and finishing Bertha off before I can do anything. Also crit, just to make sure it's really just put flat on its ass. So RNG is a bit moody during these fights. I had a couple of spots where it benefited me a great deal. there was a few other spots as well where I basically just got completely screwed over. Even harder than the that critical extreme speed right there. Just that was annoying, but we got some worse ones to fucking deal with. I'm strongly considering uploading one of my failed outtakes of this fight, just to give you an idea how much bullfuckery I had to deal with in regards to RNG. But for the time being, just basically had to go with plan B, hit the overheat button, Lucario is dead. Now it's time for the now it's time for boss bitch herself, the Garchomp. And this thing's holding a Yachi Berry, so Ice Beam probably isn't killing it in one hit. And then I also have to worry about Sword Stance, because that's not gonna help my cause at all. So there comes the Ice Beam, the berry gets eaten, and then I think it still puts it in like 2 KO range. Yeah, it's still 2 KO range, so another Ice Beam absolutely will connect to kill this thing. And then here comes the Stone Edge. Don't ask me how, but it seems that Bertha's spirit lingered on in this fight, because Reflect actually managed to help Spearmint bulk that. It's +2 attack Stone Edge, and Spearmint lived. And that's awesome, because an Ice Beam finishes it off. So that's the first of the 4 Garchomps out of the way. This one is the only one that differs from the others in just nature alone. It has a Jolly nature. The other 3 all have Hasty for some reason. It's not like the movesets are any different, so that's kind of dumb. Anywho, Roserade. I believe, I'm not too sure if it's this one or the one in the 4th team, but the failed segment I'm considering uploading as like a separate video here saw her Roserade crit me twice with Sludge Bomb and robbed me of my win. And I freaked the fuck out, because it was like, I'd been swept before. I think, I still want to say Flint swept me with something. And then there was the Alakazam I went on a tangent about with Flint. Oh, Flint, Lucian. And those were pretty shit. This was just complete bullshit. Just, yeah. Getting the crit hacks luck to sort of come back and bite me in the ass at the worst possible time. So yeah, speaking of other hacks, gotta have the accuracy bullshit going on here. This Roserade has a White Herb, so it's got no real benefits to its accuracy, and yet Sleep Powder just does not ever miss. I went with a $3 switch in there because I was expecting it to launch another Sludge Bomb, so I could just get the free switch in, and that does work out to my benefit. So I just take the opportunity to heal up, take whatever this thing decides to throw at me, which is a Dazzling Gleam, and then we get to continue on with my fight against Sleep. Yep, there it goes. Oh, I hate this. It's kind of depressing. I actually quite like Roserade. I named one after my best friend. It was the very first Pokemon that I got up to level 40 in Pokemon Go. I caught a level 35 Roselia that's like 98 IV. Like nearly a year ago now at the Turtwig Community Day. And no, I guess it's just a bit too moody here and decides to completely fuck me over and not be particularly loyal. So I just told it to get wrecked, and I replaced it with a Venusaur for my like go-to grass type that I use against Rocket Grunts. Just because Venusaur has kind of just like a... I think Venusaur's just better than Roserade. I think Roserade is still a very good option in raids and stuff, but eh. I digress anyway, because there's not really much I can commentate over here besides just this thing is a freaking dead shot with its Sleep Powder. And so here I think might be the one and only time I use a full restore in the middle of a battle. And then have that Leaf Storm miss, which is really shit because it used Leaf Storm earlier, but it had the White Herb to restore its stats. So I really wanted the Leaf Storm to hit us there as well, so that it would permanently stay at -2 special attack. But no, RNG decides to miss and then have it hit the Sleep Powder again, which is lovely. I believe the RNG does swing a little bit further back towards me here because I think this sleep and then the next sleep I get put to only lasts the one turn. So I'm able to get up a light screen here. I go with the Zen Headbutt, I get put to sleep, and then I think I just wake up on the next turn and I Zen Headbutt this thing anyway. And then I think that's kind of like the, I think that kind of opens up the floodgates for this Rose Raid, because I've not been able to hit it at all outside of that. Cheeky little crit there, like an asshole. But yeah, Zen Headbutt gets it down to low HP, she'll heal it. And then some lucky RNG comes into play here. That I'm pretty sure is just like a mid damage roll, because she heals it here, and then this next Zen Headbutt ends up one banging it. And that goes. And good on $3 for getting a somewhat rarish KO. This is actually the second KO it's gotten in this fight, which is nice. I'd say $3 probably MVP of this, just about this entire like run of all the first teams, really, because its screens came in very handy over the course of the 5 battles, and then just getting a few odd KOs here and there, like 2 in the champion fight, was really nice. So a bit of luck obviously helped it out towards it, because if the RNG was a bit different, you know, $3 might have had its ass handed to it a little bit more than it probably did. I think it was at its most useless against Flint, which makes a lot of sense because it's not exactly well suited to dealing with any of Flint's Pokemon, which is unfortunate. Anywho, I believe this is where $3 Vigil comes to a conclusion here, because I want to send in something else to try to get rid of this Milotic quickly. That ends up being Mit Roast. I'm not entirely sure why I didn't just use a full restore to heal Mit Roast up completely and just use like another full restore to heal maybe Tidal or something. I might have been a bit of an idiot in doing that, but yeah. And then I think here I'm just like, well, if my light screen runs out soon, I could probably try to maybe wake up and put another one on. But that doesn't work out because, yeah, the light screen wears off here. And so one more surf will be enough to kill $3. I just decided to leave it in here anyway because there's not much point in switching out into something else. Might not have been the best idea in the world, but I do believe this is our last Pokemon, so as long as I've got enough force here to get rid of it, that should do the trick here. But I go and do something stupid. I send in Tidal instead. I've got Thunderbolt, but I send in Tidal instead. Going with Dragon Pulse, completely forgetting that Milotic is part Fairy in this hack, so this turn ends up being completely wasted. Tidal does take the Ice Beam, but it's burned, so the burn kills it. Tidal, I imagine, would not be too pleased with me at that, because that was just the dumbest goddamn thing. So, I'm just like, alright, fuck it. Thunderbolt, just get this out of the way. Just checking, yeah, this Milotic does in fact have Marvel Scale, so did not want to inflict any sort of Will-O-Wisp on this thing, because that would have just made my life worse. I'm not too sure if that Marvel Scale works on both defenses or if it's just physical defense. I know either way it does work on physical defense, I'm just not too sure if that applies to its special. So, yeah. Match is too fun to let it end easily. You don't have a choice, love. Thunderbolt, you die. Game. Good game. So that's 6 down, 18 more to go. And, yay. Alright, so, with the, I hope that wasn't too bloody loud and obnoxious. Let's move on now. Panthers. So, from finishing one battle by taking out her Milotic to starting the next one with Milotic. So, here I just want to go straight up for screens, get those up and at them ready to go. I get the outspeed, so light screen will help me take whatever this Milotic throws at me. It's its own light screen. This one's a screen setter. It's a light screen setter, and it doesn't have like a light place, so it's only going to last a few turns. And so in this case, I decide to go with Illison. It's probably the best avenue to get rid of this thing. Hopefully don't get burned from Scald. Doesn't actually happen. I'm glad that's the case. Scald has I think normally it has a 30% chance to burn. I'm not too sure what the burn chance is on this particular Scald. But you know, it's there. And with the light screen up, I'm pretty confident in Illison's ability to tank an Ice Beam and finish off from here. And it's got leftovers as well, so this leftover should get it out of full restore range, so I can just get in a Leaf Blade and get rid of it with the greatest ease. Alright, so there's Milotic down again. Not critical certainly wasn't particularly welcome. I wouldn't have minded that RNG maybe a turn earlier. And then we have the Star Raptor. I think this Star Raptor also did a bit of a cleanup job on me in a failed attempt. I think the strat that I came up with here was to go into Pompoda and then go with a Toxic, expecting the Star Raptor to go with U-turn, because this did happen previously, but I got screwed over by RNG. So the U-turn comes in here, as I expected, and she pulls a Star Raptor back and puts Garchomp on the board. So again, she just goes in with her ace a little bit earlier than I expected, and so the Garchomp gets a Toxic to the face. That's always handy. And then... okay, so I believe I just go straight for a Play Rough here. Yeah, I go for a Play Rough here. Earthquake does a fair bit of damage, but it doesn't quite get over the line. And I remember now in the failed attempt where I got swept by the Star Raptor. Oh, okay, I didn't see that. That's weird. I'm guessing I had like a Reflect up on the previous attempt. Like I had an opportunity to get a Play Rough in, and I missed, which was really fucking bullshit. And then at the end of the fight, I forgot that Star Raptor was still alive, and I had just a bunch of crap on my... like, my team wasn't looking particularly good, and so I ended up just getting my ass handed to me by the Star Raptor, which was really, really annoying. So... how much damage does this Moonblast do? Is this a knockout? I think this is a knockout. Almost. But I've got the Toxic as well, so that finishes the Garchomp off. And a nice handy miss with Stone Edge there certainly helps, because it means Ghost Trick can go after the rest of this team without too much of a hitch. So here's the Spiritomb. With Ghost Trick now in the team, I've got something that can hit it super effectively, so I just stick with the same old strategy and spam the shit out of Moonblast until this thing dies. I think this is a one-shot, actually. It might be like an RNG type thing. Yep, here we go. I got a bit of a min damage roll there, which sucks, so it manages to get in that Hypnosis, but I know that I'm going to get a free healing turn here, because she's going to take her turn to heal. And so I wake Ghost Trick back up here, she heals up the Spiritomb, and then we basically just go Moonblast, take 2. I think that's about it, and then I think the RNG works out a little bit better towards me in my favour, and I get the Spiritomb one-shotted here. So let's see how that pans out. Oh, okay. I guess I just get screwed over again. So I guess I go for the Moonblast in case she heals it again. At this stage, though, it wouldn't have been a bad idea to use, like, Power Gem or Shadow Ball, because I know I outspeed it, and if I did that, if I did damage with one of those two, then a Moonblast is absolutely going to kill it. So, yeah. Okay, so, Bertha versus Lucario round 2 here. This Lucario, though, is more of a special attacker, so I've got a bit more of an edge with Bertha, and instead of going for the Reflect, because knowing that this thing's a special attacker, I just go straight with Mark Punches. I get a 2-hit KO with this thing, provided the RNG works out in my benefit. It's just a matter of eating one Flash Cannon and getting in that second Mark Punch. Yeah, Life Orb. Life Orb in this case does not exactly help her as well as it probably should have. So there goes Lucario. Bertha gets the second round, and so I guess we get to have a third round between Bertha and Lucario in the rematches, just like Bertha versus Bertha. And then just sort of out of left field or whatever, she has an Ampharos on this team. Now, I think I'm not too sure if I remember or not that this thing is part Dragon in this hack. Just to like tie into the fact that its Mega Evolution is part Dragon. But I decided to go in with some screens. Ampharos is not particularly fast, so Jaeger can get up some handy screens here. I put up the Reflect, and then I guess I just go to try to do some damage here. Because once Ampharos is out of the way, that I think just leaves the Staraptor, which is a physical attacker anyway. So as long as I can get this Ampharos out of the way, I probably won't need the light screen from here. I think it's just a matter of get this out of the way, tank a hit from the Staraptor, and then kill it. So going in with Ghost Trick makes sense. Get another Moonblast going and knock off this Ampharos. And then with that out of the way, we just have to get rid of this friggin' Staraptor. It is pretty much, like it's at full health, it got in a U-turn and just jumped straight the fuck back out. So it's just a matter of what do I want to lock this thing into. That's the only real question, is what do I want to lock this thing into. I'm going with Illison here. I feel like probably not the best idea, because I mean this thing is scarfed. Yeah, it's scarfed. And so I guess I go in with Illison here, take the Brave Bird, and then I go in with Mitroast because Mitroast can tank the Brave Bird, which I guess works out perfectly fine. The other option is possibly to have gone in with Mitroast, and then its other two like big attacks are Double Edge and Close Combat, both of which Ghost Trick is immune to. So I could very easily have just gone in with Mitroast and then switched out. But I guess either way works as long as I'm getting in a hard-hitting attack here against the Staraptor. Thunderbolt, I guess, would obviously have been the better option because it's just a better move and it has stab as opposed to Power Gem. So one way or the other, the Staraptor is down, and that gets rid of Cynthia's second team. And for some reason, she's just leaning up against a wall that does not exist. Okay, so third team with Mitroast now out of the equation. He was pretty helpful in those first two fights, but here she now leads with a Togekiss, and this one is very much a screen setting type Togekiss. It's got both screens with Light Clay, and unlike the last few screen setters that I've had to go up against, she actually does the smart thing and puts up Reflect first. So this Gyro Ball, does this crit actually? Yeah, it crits, which is nice, because she'll take this turn to heal it, and so I can get in at least one screen, but I'm not going to be able to do a whole lot of damage otherwise. I guess at this stage I probably just want to try to go in with maybe Ghost Trick and try to knock this thing out as quickly as possible, because she doesn't seem to be keen to go for the light screen here. She's just going straight for Moonblasts. And then that just lets me put up my second screen, so I'm about ready to go here. I think it's just a matter of spamming the Shadow to Zen headbutt. I imagine its Reflect gets put up first, so it'll be the first one to go, and then I guess I just keep hitting out with Zen headbutt here. Or maybe I switch out. Switching out is probably a good idea anyway, because if I'm gonna hit into Reflect, I'd probably want to hit with something hard. So Suricate makes a whole lot of sense. And I've got the light screen up, so Suricate should be able to tank this thing. This is Togekiss' only attacking move on the set. It's got this, the dual screens, and then its last move is actually Tailwind, which will help it put up some get over me in terms of speed. But I guess it uses it there. So I believe this puts Togekiss over Suricate's speed for the time being, which is unfortunate. Because Strength isn't doing a whole lot of damage. And then I think I get critted out here. No, I managed to survive. And then I guess I just go with the Shadow Claw because of the increased crit rate, which doesn't actually pay off all that well. And then I think I just hit the fuck it button and let Suricate go here. Togekiss is just too bulky. Tailwind wears off though, so that's a nice little thing to have there. And then I guess the hope here is that Power Gem will get rid of Togekiss from this range, even though it's pretty sure it's still got its light screen up. Yeah. So she heals it here, it's a free turn, and my light screen buggers off as well, so Ghost Trick just kind of eats this Moonblast at full strength. Not too sure how much damage this does though. I think that's like the third Moonblast in a row that's gotten a special attack drop, which is really, really bad, because then that just means Power Gem is not knocking this thing out. So getting outspared, getting just a whole bunch of bullshit, and I'm just like, just go back into $3. $3 will hopefully finish this thing off. Get another little handy KO for it. Okay, that's 4 in a row. Good God. So, out of Gyro Balls, which I don't really care that much about. As long as I'm tanking some hits, I can take the time to put some screens back up. She doesn't seem keen on healing this Togekiss. I think she's already had it go enough of a distance as it is. And this is still only her first Pokemon, and it's already causing a bit of a problem for me. I'm glad this is still in the one fight, because I mean I'm probably getting through the rest of this fight without accidentally leaving in any more failed attempts, because that's just going to piss me off far more than anything else has in the last few weeks. Besides, you know, getting double critted out. You gotta see that one to believe it. Okay, the Togekiss finally hits the deck, and replacing it is Spiritomb. Now, Ghost Trick is not at full health here. I decided to go with it anyway because, just based on my experience with the Spiritomb in the previous team fight, I figured that I probably can get the one-shot here with the Moonblast. I'm not too sure if there's any... This one's relaxed, which I think is like a plus defense, and then that's relaxed, and then that's sassy. Okay. Relaxed, I'm pretty sure is like a plus either physical defense or special defense. One way or the other, I get the one shot. I'm going to chalk that one up to RNG. Just being a little bit nicer to me. So that works out to my benefit. And then we have Lucario for the third time. And this Lucario is back to the physical attacking set with a Life Orb. So let's just try and fighting with fighting here and going with Dick Kick him. And so here I guess the idea is, as long as I am able to tank something from this Lucario, I can finish it off with one high jump kick, but in case I can't, I just go with the Mark Punch, because I know Mark Punch is going to knock this thing out. And looking at its moveset, its priority move is Bullet Punch. I'm not too sure if Lucario naturally outspeeds. It probably would have gotten a knockout there. One where the other high jump kick still does enough damage and gets rid of Dead Kick him anyway. And then here I go on with Illison, and on this one rare occasion it actually skips my mind that a heal is possible. It doesn't help that it was in the yellow when she healed it, so Psycho Cut not gonna do a whole lot of damage. It is still the best move that I can do against this thing, just because the other two are resisted. Bumping the microphone stand there. And so at this point, I guess the hope is to get a crit. I think I might get a crit here. No. But I think I'm good with one more Psycho Cut to get the knockout here. Because Illison's been pretty bulky, and then the Life Orb damage stacks up here and I can get the KO with Illison. Okay, so that takes care of Lucario for the third time. And now she's sending in an evolution of her own in the form of Glaceon. And so, having satisfied my, I don't know what you would call it, I just let Illison stay in and take a hit from Glaceon. This Glaceon, I think it puts up a screen of some variety. Let me actually have a look. Nope, it's just an all-out special attacker. With choice specs as well, and so for some reason she goes with Earth Power. Perfect. As a matter of fact, absolutely perfect. Because $3 got Levitate, which means this Glaceon is now completely incapable of doing anything to me. I could have also switched in Ghost Trick. I have a super effective move on Ghost Trick that still has some PP on it. I might actually use an Ether here to regenerate Gyro Ball PP. I'm not too sure. Yeah, I most certainly do. I get my Gyro Ball PP back with an Ether. Very good. And so I guess Glaceon, I'm not too sure how it does in the speed department, even though I've actually used one before. I think it's alright in terms of speed. It might just be one of the base 65s though. But there is a big enough gap that I can get the two-shot with Gyro Ball anyway. So this Glaceon has, because of its awful moveset choosing there against Illison, it ultimately serves zero threat. Serves zero threat. Wish I had better English. At least in the case of commentary. Anywho. Milotic again. Our old friend Milotic. Just going straight in with the Scalds, I guess. This moveset, well, it's the same old sort of bulky type moveset. It's only got Scald and Ice Beam as attacking moves, and then it's got the Recover. And then it also has Protect, which can just sort of piss you off even more. And at this point, with the lack of Illison, I've got to get rid of this thing the hard way. So, what have I got going here? I guess Ghost Trick is my best option here. I don't have like any out-and-out super effective attacks against this thing. I could potentially have gone with perhaps like a Light Screen and then switched into Rampart and maybe murdered this thing, but nah. I would have to get like a free switch in because I don't think it would have. I don't think Rampart would have been able to take two serves. Like even with the Light Screen up. So throws a Protect there, which renders my switch in a free one. Nice. And so now I think I go with Nasty Plot. I do. I go with Nasty Plot. Okay. I figure since this thing's got a fair bit of bulk on it, I might as well try to hit this thing as hard as I possibly can. Just go full on bloody Final Flash up in this bitch. Especially if it's going to keep spamming leftovers here, so opting for the Shadow Ball here in the hope that I can get a special defense drop. First one gets slammed into its friggin' Protect, And then I think it tries to use the Protect again. No, it doesn't. Okay, so here comes the first Shadow Ball. Let's see how much damage this does. Should still be enough to a 2 KO anyway. Don't get the defense drop though, which is unfortunate. And with the leftovers, it means Milotic will be able to survive one more of those. And it'll probably use Recover this turn as well. So I go for Moonblast. I want to say Moonblast is slightly stronger than Shadow Ball. I'm not 100% sure on that. But I feel like Moonblast is a little bit stronger. And it ended up proving itself there by getting the Milotic off the board, which is quite nice. It is unfortunate that Ghost Trick took all this damage though, because, yeah, she actually saved her Garchomp for last on this occasion. Thankfully $3 still alive and for the most part kicking, so I can get in there and get up some screens while the freaking thing decides to put up a Sword Stance, which I think Reflect and Sword Stance are just kind of like a cancel each other out type thing. So I'll probably still take the same amount of damage, but it is only one thing here. And then here it goes for the Outrage, which I'm alright with. Obviously the stab move would have been better. The only other option was Stone Edge, because I've got Levitate. It lands a critical here, which actually works out so much more to my benefit than you know, because it means that Ghost Trick gets this free switch in here. I can get in Moonblast. This thing's locked into Outrage, which is going to miss. And then Moonblast is going to be able to do a fair chunk of damage, if not outright kill it. I think if it fails, I think it still leaves the Garchomp with like bugger all HP left, and she'll just take the turn to heal it. Yeah, she takes the turn to heal it. So she'll heal up here, and then I just got to try to go for another Moonblast. I don't have the Nasty Plot boost anymore because I switched out. And so I guess I'm just like fighting fucking hard to just ensure that this thing, to ensure that I get this thing down and on its ass. And I think I just stay in here in the possible hope that it'll use, well, that actually has to use Stone Edge because I'm immune to its other two attacks. Stone Edge does miss, which sucks. And so now it comes down to Rampart, which is, now that I think about it, this is literally Rampart's only appearance against Cynthia in this entire segment. And so all it has to do is survive one Earthquake. I don't know why I'm putting up any sort of suspense about this. It should be pretty obvious that Rampart's Solid Rock comes into play here and then just decides to hit out with its own Earthquake and finish off this third fight. And down you go. Thank fuck for that. Okay, 3 down, and just these last 6 remaining. And it's minor spoilers, it's not going to go off to the absolute most thrilling of starts here. Her lead is a fucking Clefable. If you've watched this LP all the way through, you'll know how much of an arsehole Clefable's been to me in the past. And so that's literally the reason I've had Pompoda in this 4th one slot, because Pompoda is the only thing in my team that is probably going to be able to knock this thing out, so phone going off. You get to listen to the Postal 2 music there for a little bit, because, you know, I hate being interrupted, even though I've been, never mind. So yeah, strat here, Toxic, wear it down, try to hit this thing to assist with the wearing down. I believe it's put up a Reflect here. Yeah, it'll definitely put up a Reflect here. All like played up and stuff. It's got Q-Charm as well, which comes into play a little bit here. That's also a bit annoying. And so, shut up, phone. And so, yeah, this Clefable sticks around for a while. The difference between this and the Togekiss in the previous fight is that this Clefable doesn't really take really any KOs at all, I don't think. It just sort of sits here and wastes my time. That's pretty much all it does. It's kind of like the floodgate here, because this is, like, this chunk is what, 13 minutes in length, and I think we're about maybe a couple of minutes in at this point now. So I imagine that once this Clefable hits the floor, it just opens up the floodgates and I just clean up the rest of the team with relative ease. I imagine title will be pretty handy in that regard. I would have taken the time to watch this back before doing a recording, but don't really have time to do that. I'm just kind of racing against the clock at the moment as it is before the bloody kids get back home. So yeah, soft-boiled over and over and over. There is a bit of timing that I'm trying to do with this, because I think I want to try to time it so that Pompoda is out when the Clefable dies, so that she goes in with a guard chomp and I get that out of the way, like, as quickly as possible. And so I think here I take this opportunity to go into Jaeger. This Clefable's not going to do anything to Jaeger really at all, especially if it keeps spamming soft-boiled. It's using soft-boiled to counteract the toxic damage, which is slowly building up. And so knowing that I'm not going to take too much damage, if at all, I feel like Jaeger's probably free to just get in here and start putting up some screens. So light screen goes up first, then I want the reflect to go up second so that I've got more turns with that. That'll last me hopefully long enough to get Garchomp out of the way. Okay, now do I switch out here? Because I think if I switch out into Pompoda and then the Toxic comes into play, I should just be able to slap this thing with a Gunk Shot from here, because her screens are out. She'll probably just keep using... Yeah, she'll probably keep using... Okay, she's using the Moonblast, which I'm actually okay with, I think. Because Toxic will kill it from here. That doesn't really matter all that much. Okay, so yeah, there goes the Clefable, finally. I think we're about just about 5 minutes into this fight, and we've just gotten rid of the first Pokemon. So here, going in with the Garchomp immediately, which is quite nice. I am opting for Tidal in this case. The thing is holding a Yachi Berry, so I'm thinking Ice Beam probably isn't the most ideal move to go with against this thing. And so I opt for the Dragon Pulse instead, because that'll just get around the berry. And it'll probably do, like in this first turn, it'll probably do the same amount of damage. So, Dragon Pulse, it takes a turn to set up the Swords Dance. And so, it goes in with the Outrage here. I don't have Ghost Trick on me to sponge the hit, but I do have Jaeger, so that's always handy. And that's assuming Outrage one-shots the title, which it does. One Sword Stance just kind of cancels out the Reflect, and from there it's just a matter of Garchomp is hard hitting, a bit too hard hitting. And then yeah, here I had this now I remember the failed attempt with the RNG screwing me over. This is where I ended up missing with because it gets locked into Outrage, so Pompoda's able to tank it. Wait, what? Huh. Okay, well that's... Okay. Never mind. I guess I just, like, got, like, a high damage roll dealt to me. Or maybe the, Sword Stance comes into play. Whatever. It doesn't get confused that turn, so it's got one more turn of being locked into it, so she can't heal it this turn. And so... Get in the priority move. Light Punch, kill it. That'll do. Dick Kickham does the, job right there. Unfortunately, I didn't have my, Ghost Trick on this team, because I could have done a nice little mirror match there. But, no. Just going to go in with Suricate, and hopefully Shadow Claw will be enough to get over this thing. It is pretty fast, and I was kind of expecting it to outspeed me, in all honesty, because of the level gap, but nope. That doesn't end up happening. I get a Shadow Claw in. It doesn't quite get the knockout here. Thunderwave misses, thank God. So it means I can just get in a Shadow Claw here once she's healed it. Wasn't quite that lucky in my infamous failed fight, because she actually did hit the Thunder Wave and then got the free healing turn when I got locked in paralysis there. But here, Miss Magius ultimately ends up posing zero threat. And then here we have Lopunny. I've dealt with Lopunnies before. I obviously have dealt with Flint's one, so in this case, Deck Kick him, I am hoping will get me over the line here, or at least do a fair bit of damage. I don't have my Reflect, so I'm not confident in Deck Kickham's ability to tank like a high jump kick from this thing. So I go with a Mark Punch, and then high jump kick just sort of comes in and brings Deck Kickham's vigil to a close. Unfortunate. And so bring in Jaeger. What's on Lopunny's moveset? It's just got Mega Kick and Ice Punch, which aren't the best things to be dealing with, but I just go for an attack here. Mega Kick rather. Manages to miss there. Very, very handy. I'm not too sure if Jaeger would have been able to survive it. It does have stab behind it. And I think it's like a base 120 power move besides that, so it would have been a pretty hard-hitting move, but it is like 80 accuracy, so managed to get that over the top. And so I can definitely confirm now that this was indeed the Roserade that double critted me, because it is surprisingly fast. It actually outspeeds Suricate, and that is because it is scarfed. So here I'm just like, okay, can I lock this into something that I will be able to work with? And the answer to that question is yes. I get it locked into its Energy Ball. Suricate manages to tank just barely, so I get in a strength to at least do some damage. And then with it being locked up into Energy Ball, I can just go in with an Ice Beam. I did do a little bit too much damage there though, so I'm expecting. I guess I didn't expect the full restore there, really. I probably should have gone with another strength then if that was the case, but I go with the Shadow Claw instead. And that Shadow Claw does an okay amount of damage. No real point in switching Suricate out. I think her purpose is pretty much served at this point. And so now I just get to send in Spearmint, and an Ice Beam should get rid of this Roserade. I think she gets in a little cheeky crit here, actually. I think Energy Ball... What's Energy Ball's secondary ability? I think it reduces, like, its special defense or something. I'm not too sure. But I guess I was wrong about the crit. So, Ice Beam gets rid of the stupid flowers. And so for this final Pokemon I have to fight in the main game, it is going to be... Guess what? Fucking Milotic. Oh, this thing has been a massive fucking thorn in my side. Just for this fight, I don't think I ever, like, lost out hardcore to it, but it's quite the workhorse. Just funny because its head looks like a horse, kind of. But yeah, I guess it is somewhat fitting. It was either going to be that or the Garchomp I fought last. It would only make sense. But, that's alright. I get a nice handy special defense drop there with Jaeger's Psychic there, which unfortunately doesn't really work out all that well, I don't think. Unless Jaeger actually just knocks Milotic out straight, because I do have the light screen up here. And so with the special defense drop, Psychic will do a little bit more damage. And I think it's just a matter of hopefully not taking too many Hydro Pumps. Did get one miss there, which is nice. And then gets her into the red there. I don't think she... Oh, no, she uses Rest. Yep, I remember. This is a Rest Talk set. That'll be why. Yeah, Rest, Sleep, Talk with Hydro Pump, Ice Beam. So, Slightly annoying. I take this opportunity to switch into Spearmint, I think. No, I guess I'm just gonna... I guess it's just keep spamming Psychic, hopefully get some more special defense drops, and maybe luck out and get the KO here. So here's the first one. I think the CPU forgets that rest probably lasts for 2 turns here. And her first turn gets wasted there because it just gets rest. And this isn't Gen 2, so it doesn't just immediately heal itself back up again. So uses another Psychic here. And then Sleep Talks for Ice Beam, which is not going to do a whole lot. It does freeze, because, yeah, gotta have some last second drama. Kind of fits that a Mime freezes up occasionally, but I think that's like something that it does. Not too sure. Not even sure why I went on that tiny useless tangent, but anywho, gotta use a full heal. Wakes up, forgets that it was waking up this turn, and then there's the Sleep Talk, so I believe from here it's just 1 Psychic and that's it. So yeah, Spearmint doesn't even need to get involved in this one. Which, okay, whatever. Not a big deal. I am hoping that all of my team members got at least some level of screen time. I'd say Rampart got the least amount of screen time because it was literally there to deliver 1 finishing blow and that's it. So, yeah, that's it. And no, this is not background music that I'm playing, like, over the mute. This is actually, like, in-game music. So, yeah. There you go. Random zoom keyframe for one reason or another. I was going to keep this on, but then I remembered that the credit screen goes across both screens. So, only going to have the weird aspect ratio here for just this bit in the Hall of Fame. And that's going to be cool because I get to show off another trick that I taught myself how to do in Camtasia. You'll see that soon. It'll be tying into the Hall of Fame. As I hear the front door open and it sounds like we're going to have some loud and obnoxious children. So you get to put up with that as well. Yay! God, I've torn my throat up so much up to this point. It's rather unfortunate, but oh well. Maybe I can mess around a bit with noise reduction or something and maybe like not have the loudness be as obnoxious or egregious or something else you want to bloody call it. So, unfortunate as it is that I can only put 6 Pokemon into the Hall of Fame this time around. It's whatever. But the other 6 are still with me in spirit, at least. I don't know. You'll see what I mean in a moment here as this team of 6 gets put into the Hall of Fame, like as they rightfully deserve. I'm not too sure what the Elite Four is going to be like if I try to go and challenge them immediately after, if it's going to be the same sort of setup. If that's the case, I might do a little cheeky second run off screen with the other 6 that I didn't use for this particular run, the 4th run here, but yay. I was going to just have them like magically pop into existence like they were using instant transmission, specifically the abridged version of instant transmission, but then I worked out how to add the little animations and stuff, so I was able to put them all in there like that, which was quite nice. I quite enjoyed that. And so, after an incredibly lengthy saving screen, it says saving, but I imagine it's still, like, saving a lot of data, because even Heart Gold Soul Silver couldn't get away from that crap. But, following on from this will be the credit screen, where I get to talk about the future of the playthrough. I don't think there should be any doubt in anybody's mind whatsoever that I'm going to be going through the post game. There are still a few question marks going around in regards to that. I'm not too sure if I've mentioned it yet, but I do have the ability to stream now, and I have considered just streaming the post-game stuff so that I don't have, just because I feel like that might be a bit better of an experience. I think the biggest question mark for me at the moment is probably the gym leader rematches. There's a building in one of the post-game areas that you can just go into, and there's a bunch of gym leaders and you can fight them, and it changes every single day. They just sort of pick some of those out at random and you can fight those. I believe that also includes some of the trainers that you accompany in like the certain areas like Eternal City, you know, those sorts of characters. What, Cheryl, Marley, Riley's there, of course, with his Lucario, and I can't remember the name of the last one. I think it's Mira or something, the one that you go to grab the ribbon for in a Wayward Cave. Yeah, that's the one. You can fight them as well, which is pretty okay. I believe in this hack you can actually fight the Galactic admins and Cyrus as well, so that might just be something that I'm not too sure if Drowno's left it as like a random thing, or if I can go through them all in one fell swoop, if they're all just like piled up in this one building now and I can do them all in one go. If that's the case, I will most likely be streaming it. As for everything else, not too sure how I'm going to approach that yet. I'll probably take a small little break. I know that's probably going to make people freak out because my last break from this was freaking 10 months long when it really should not have been. So rest assured, I would like for that, for any potential break that I have from here to not freaking go that long. I did say at the top of this Elite Four challenge that I wouldn't have to worry about this for round 2, because each of the Elite Four members only has one team in the second round. So that one I can just go straight in, and only real chopping and changing I'd have to do would be to get rid of any failed attempts at the fights. So I can do that all in one go, and that'll probably be the last segment of the LP. So I guess it's just a matter of going to do some exploring. I will definitely be exploring the Battle Frontier. I'm not going to be showing off any of the facilities though. I already did that in Storm Silver. I have no real reason to do that again. So I'll just sort of show it off, just sort of point out, okay, this is it, this is this thing, this is that thing, this is the other bloody thing, and then that's probably going to be it for the Battle Frontier. And then there's just a matter of all the other Pokemon that I've still got to catch. The vast majority of them, if not all of them, I think are all just straight catches. I think I've evolved everything that I need to. And so it's just a whole bunch of throwing balls at stuff. A good chunk of that will be off screen. Legendaries, of course, and mythicals among those. And then that should be about it. So we shouldn't be too far away from the conclusion of this LP. And then from there, who the fuck knows what I'm going to do. I'll have to try to work out, you know, if I want to stream a game or if I want to just do a recorded playthrough like this for future playthroughs and stuff. So, yeah, I think that will be about it for this. Thankfully, the kids have not been immensely loud since getting back from school, so I'm grateful to them for that. Rest in peace, you fucking legend. Of course, I refer to Iwata. We miss him. We know we absolutely miss him. Yeah, I think that's about it. So you can enjoy the last little bit of this ending. The track, I feel, kind of just sort of ends abruptly there, but whatever. So yeah, see you next time for most likely the beginning of the post game. So yeah,